It was a heavy Sunday evening, the kind that presses down until you can't keep pretending anymore. One careless sentence unraveled everything I had built with a man I once thought would be my forever. I never intended to wound him. I didn't even know he was close enough to hear me. But those words slipped out, sharp and careless, and they cut deeper than I could have imagined. My best friend, Sarah, had come over for a quiet visit. We opened a bottle of wine and curled into the comfort of my softly lit living room. I thought Nathan, my husband, was upstairs going through old boxes like he'd said. Sarah listened while I poured out everything I'd been holding back for months. The exhaustion, the silence between us, the weight of all the arguments that had worn me down, everything tumbled out as the wine loosened my guard. At some point, with my head in my hands, I whispered the words I'll never forget. Sometimes I wish I'd never married him. The second they left my mouth, regret surged through me. Sarah's eyes widened, her voice tense with concern as she told me I didn't mean it. But the worst part was a part of me did, not in anger, but in that defeated way love can turn into obligation, and obligation into resentment. And still, another part of me clung desperately to the love that once felt unshakable. What I didn't realize was that Nathan had stopped halfway down the stairs. He had heard every word. The next morning, the house felt strangely hollow. The coffee maker was untouched. His boots weren't by the door. His keys were gone. At first, I told myself he had simply left early for work. But Nathan never left without a goodbye. Not once. Even on the worst days, he always kissed me before walking out. By noon, unease crept in. My calls went unanswered. My messages were left unread. I sat down at my laptop to send him an email, only to see one already waiting for me. The subject line was a single word: farewell. His message was calm, final, devastating. He wrote that he had heard what I said, that it wasn't anger in my voice, it was honesty, and that honesty had destroyed him. He said he gave me everything, and yet I carried regret like a shadow over us. He told me not to search for him, that the divorce papers were already in motion. He ended simply, "I'm not angry. I just refuse to be someone's mistake." My chest tightened as I read his words again and again. No shouting, no begging, no chance for repair. Just an ending so quiet it crushed me more than any fight ever could. I rushed to his office, but his desk was already cleared out. By the afternoon, his phone was disconnected, his social media gone. Friends hadn't heard from him. His brother only said Nathan needed space and didn't want contact. Within days, the divorce documents arrived. Cold, simple, already signed. All I had to do was fill in my part. I thought I would rage or collapse into grief. Instead, I felt hollow. Remorse devoured me. I saw him everywhere. In the way he used to smile at me like I was his entire world. In the quiet patience he showed when I was difficult. In the way he stood steady whenever I faltered. I remembered how he looked across the dinner table not long before it all broke. Tired, worn, but still there, still trying. He hadn't left me. I had left him long before. Nights blurred into weeks. Sleep never came. I replayed that night over and over, dissecting every word. Did I mean it? Or was it just the poison of silence and neglect spilling out after being bottled up too long? Months slipped by. I even hired a private investigator. Nothing. No address. No records. It was as if Nathan had erased himself from existence. Slowly. I can't understand. My words didn't just wound him. They confirmed what he already feared. That the love he fought to keep alive had already rotted in my silence. He didn't walk away in rage. He walked away to save the last piece of his dignity. Now, I wonder where he is. If he's safe. If someone else wakes beside him and sees the man I failed to cherish for what he truly was, the best decision I ever made. Only I saw it too late. Nathan left quietly with finality. And what he left me with was not closure, not anger, but the echo of words I can never take back.